Another year, another LEGO Star Wars Battle Pack, this time in the form of the Siege of Mandalore Battle Pack. Taking inspiration from the Siege of Mandalore arc from the end of the Clone Wars series, this set pits two 332nd clone troopers against two Mandalorian super commandos as the battle for Mandalore nears its end. Let's talk about the builds included here first, with those being a defensive barricade for our clone troopers and a speeder for our Mandalorians. The barricade is quite basic, featuring a turret build attached to a large gate piece, with a 4x8 plate providing some space to pose to clone troopers as they man the turret and seek cover from their Mandalorian enemies. Despite its simplicity, I actually quite like it. The printed caution tile is a nice inclusion, and I think that little terrain builds like this are nice inclusions to get in battle packs. It is a little difficult to get a minifigure to hold on to the handle of the turret though, not impossible, just a little bit troublesome. The speeder build for our Mandalorians accounts for the majority of the 116 pieces included within this set, and I have mixed feelings about it. The colour scheme looks nice and matches the Mandalorian minifigures perfectly, and the trans yellow elements used for the engine exhaust are a great choice. Including the printed console piece and windshield for our driver is much appreciated, and the use of a ball joint for the turret is maybe the best bit about this speeder, as it allows for a lot of different angles and poses for our gunner to take up. However, the lack of any studded space for the gunner to be placed on is a little bit disappointing. Of course, you can always clip a minifigure to the handles and use a little bit of imagination to have them use their jetpack to help them man the turret, which is absolutely fine. However, I do feel as though it would have been helpful in particular for younger builders to have some studs to place the minifigure upon, as I imagine it could be a little bit more difficult for them to clip the hands of the minifigures onto the handles as opposed to placing them on studs. There's also a crate piece included, which you could always use to store the blaster pieces. A nice touch, I guess. The two 332nd clone troopers included are the exact same minifigures that we got in the 332nd battle pack from 2023, and while that might disappoint some people, I'm actually perfectly okay with it. I quite like these minifigures, and given that this set is based off of the Siege of Mandalore, I think that their inclusion is appropriate here. I think it might have been nice to see a 501st clone included here to add some variety, and it would make sense given their presence at the Siege of Mandalore. Moving on to the best and most controversial aspect of this set, we have our two Mandalorian Super Commandos. The male and female headprints featured here were previously exclusive to the UCS Death Star, so it's nice to see them being included in more sets. I really like the jetpacks included in the gunmetal grey colour for both of these figures, and the little wrist shield build is a neat touch that nails the look of the in-universe shields. However, we do have to discuss the most controversial aspect of this set, that being the visor design of the Mandalorians. LEGO opted to go with a silver finish for the visors instead of black, which has left some people quite upset, as in the past black was used for the visor on the previous version of the male Super Commando. As for my own opinion, I actually think that the silver design LEGO went for looks really great on the male Super Commando especially. Looking at screenshots from the Clone Wars series, you can see instances where the visor does give off a silver sheen, and I can see why LEGO decided to change things up this time around for the visor colour. As much as I like these minifigures, I can't help but feel that the visor on the female Super Commando just looks a little bit off for some reason. I'm not sure if this is just me, but I feel as though there's too much silver going on, and things might have looked better if the silver printing was kept to just the visor rather than a large portion of the face of the helmet. Let me know if you feel the same way in the comment section below. Putting the issue of visor colours aside, I think that these are both two really nice minifigures, and I think they will both be a
fine addition to my collection.
As far as battle packs go, I don't think that this is the best one we've seen, but I don't think it's anywhere near being the worst one either. You get 4 pretty good minifigures and 2 decent builds, all for the price tag of €20. While the price tag may not be as low as it used to be in the good old days of lesser inflation, it is pretty on par with sets of a similar size and design from other teams like Harry Potter, and I don't think it's all that bad of a deal. As is customary with battle packs, they do tend to drop in price pretty quickly, and I feel like if you're not in a rush to pick this one up, then you won't be disappointed if you can catch this at 25% or so off. Anyways, that's it for my thoughts on the new Siege of Mandalore battle pack. If you've stuck around to this point of the video, I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, perhaps you could like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more 2026 LEGO reviews just like this one. With all of that being said, I've been Dave, and I hope that you have a great day.